Test one. So, Keith, you were in the Marine Corps.
Apparently, because either that or I got these tattoos really cheap.
You did like 22 years?
20 years, yep.
And what made you join?
You know, a lot of things. I was just fascinated by the military growing up. Played Army. I don't think I knew an adult male, literally in my neighborhood, that was not in the military. So I thought when you grew up, you joined the Army. That's what you did. And, you know, the concept was fascinating me. All World War II guys. A couple Korea guys, most World War II guys. I mean, my father, the guy across the street, next door, all next door neighbors, all my little buddies' friends, all military guys. So it was the norm. It was a blue-collar neighborhood in New Jersey. That's what you did. You smoked unfiltered Camels, you drank beer, you liked sports, and you were in World War II. And you went to work every day in a factory.
Yeah. So did you go out in the woods and find that perfect stick?
Oh, yeah.
Like a gun?
Yeah.
That had just the right angle on it? I remember that.
Well, that and every Christmas. It was like, you know, we had monkey guns. And I remember I had a BAR with batteries in it.
Oh, yeah.
So the special person would go, it's hysterical.
So these were the days when it was cool to buy your kids like functioning.
Oh, yeah.
Realistic
guns.
Weapons to play guns with.
We had, and we fought in every war. We had muskets for the Civil War. Nice. We had, you know, World War II. My brother took a colander from my mother, got him use it, and put a white sheet over and painted a big meatball on the front so he could be the Japanese Marines in the backyard.
You did that.
Oh, my brother, yeah, sort of guy. We had a Fort Apache tent. That was the headquarters.
Wow.
So it was a natural fit.
Yeah, apparently. How did that work for you?
Yeah, you know, I loved it. For 20 years, I was where I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Now, some of my superiors may not have agreed with that sentiment, but yeah.
The process to get in, though, for you, how was that?
It was interesting. So my brother was just going to join the Marine Corps out of high school, and my parents begged him to go to college. And these are Depression-era people, so they thought college was the magic wherewithal. It's going to solve all your problems. You're going to get to college. So they talked to me, and he's going, just do one semester. If you don't like it, then you can join the Marine Corps. So he went, and he did great in college. I was just going to do the same thing. So I'm just going to enlist. No, just do one semester. Because their whole take on life is if, you know, was combat. They lost so many of their friends and relatives in World War II. So I get there, my brother and I are talking. We're in different colleges. It was a miracle I got into college. I only got into college because of sports. But my academic career was not what we would call stellar. And so I found out there was this PLC thing. Because a good buddy of mine, who to this day we're best friends, was in the PLC program, the platoon leaders class. I was like, you could go to college and be in the Marine Corps at the same time? I was so stupid, I didn't even know the reserves were such a thing.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I found out. Of course, I called the OSO. I think, you know, I'm putting slugs in a phone at the Wawa behind the apartment building I lived in. And he gets me I get him on the phone, and he's all about it. Oh, yeah, sure, Keith. You know, you're Kyle over Glassboro State? Yeah. How you doing in school? I'm doing great. So you in shape? All these questions. Can you do pull-ups? I can do pull-ups all day long. And in those days, I literally can do pull-ups all day long. I'm thinking I'm in. They're going to let me shoot machine guns. This is going to be cool. Last question. How's your grades? How's your CUME? My CUME? 1.8, I said very proudly, because I had 2 B's, 2 C's, and a D. That's the best grades I had gotten in 4 years. In high school, I was I don't know why they didn't throw me out. These guys go, you have to have a 2.0. I was crushed. I'm like, literally, I'm arguing with them now, but I can do pull-ups all day long. Yeah, but you still need a 2.0. So I had to get my CUME up, and then I took the written test and failed that because, wait for it, there's math involved.
Yeah.
And I'm a math retard. So I eventually got through the whole thing, and then off I went to OCS. And the rest is
a very common misconception that Marines are stupid people.
Yeah.
It's just not true. That's not been my experience anyway.
No. Well, how did you end up in the Marine Corps?
I have such a sordid past, Keith. Can't even be.
Are you a soiled woman?
I am. So, I had a really troubled childhood. I was abandoned at 2 years old. Mm-hmm. I was raised by a single mom. And that sort of led me down this path of hanging out with the bad group of people.
Where'd you grow up at?
I grew up in New York, Long Island.
Yeah.
And I was just a punk, man. I can't even tell you. I couldn't even say it any better than to say, like, you see these punks running around nowadays. Like, that was me. hung out with the wrong people. I did drugs. I got to the point where I had alienated my family so badly that I got kicked out of the house. I went and lived with my aunt for a while.
Yeah.
Alienated her so badly that I got kicked out of her house. And at that time, I had a girl who was my beau, man. We were going to get married. It was going to be amazing. I was, 17 years old.
Of course you were. It's all going to be perfect. Cupcakes and unicorns.
I knew everything about life. And this girl she was great, but not really good for me. And we ended up living in a car for a while. We were living with friends. I was couch surfing.
Excellent.
Yeah. I did have a job. I had a really, upwardly mobile sort of job. I masked parts and dunked them in MEK, methyl ethyl ketone, which is like a highly...
Yeah, will kill you.
It's a highly carcinogenic
Yeah.
degreasing compound. That was my job. I literally took airplane parts, put masking tape on them, and dunked them in a tank. And if it didn't work properly, I went to the paint shop and there would be holes in the paint, and they'd just send the parts back to me. So literally, if I wasn't good at it, I just kept getting more and more work stacked up.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there working in these tanks all day long, and I'm just thinking to myself, this is a terrible way to live.
Yeah.
And I want to do something else. So I said, the guys that I was working with at that place were all former Marines.
Oh.
They were 46 mechanics. So there's an aircraft platform called the C-46. So the Marine helicopter with the two rotating...
the workhorse. Workhorse plane. Yeah.
Those cats, they just kind of took me aside one day and were like, you got an opportunity.
Yeah.
You're a smart kid. You can do something better with your life. So I was like, yes, do something better with my life. And I went and talked to a recruiter, who immediately told me, get a haircut, take that stupid hearing out of your ears. We're not interested in people like you. Excuse me. But, that gets in your head.
Yeah, now it's a challenge.
Now it's absolutely a challenge.
Yeah.
So, guess what I did? I went and got a haircut, took the hearing out of my ear, tucked my shirt in, and went back. Hat in hand, like, all right, maybe I could do this.
Yeah.
But I had quit high school. I was 17 years old.
2 waivers.
I probably shouldn't say this, but I was a druggie.
Yeah, I knew it's coming, so we're up to 3 waivers at least.
And I'll never forget, it was Stasser Bendini, was his name. I hope he's sick. Maybe one day he'll get to see this, I don't know. But he absolutely changed my life because he didn't take any crap from me.
Yeah.
He made me actually complete something for the first time in my life.
Yeah.
Just putting challenges in front of me. Mm-hmm. And that was the next challenge was, hey, if you really want this, you'll find a way to get these, this paperwork problem resolved. So, I had to go and, I was estranged from my mom, but I had to get her to sign a letter basically saying I could go in the Marine Corps. Right?
Yeah.
So not stupid, but certainly anti-establishment.
Misguided?
Certainly a rebel.
Yeah.
I had a big chip on my shoulder.
I think a lot of Marines are. I think, if you think about the time, when I'm going in the Marine Corps, I graduated college in 78. It was hippies and long hair and like, are you nuts? You're going to join the Marine Corps? What's wrong with you? Pop! Because that's pretty much what I did in college. You looked at me funny, I punched you in the mouth.
That's right. Wait a second. You were a boxer.
Mm-hmm. Yep, did some boxing in the Marine Corps. And I did a little bit in college. Yeah, so and where I went to school was all blue-collar kids. Yeah. So the only thing anybody did was drink and fight and fuck. I mean, that was life. That's what you did. It was a miracle I got out. The only reason I got out is because they hold the commission over your head. Mm. And the OSO told me more than once, and he was a recon guy, which is another story how I ended up in recon because I can emulate him. They're like, hey, knucklehead. You have to graduate on time and stuff. You need to quit going into bars and challenging everybody will fight. Yeah. And so I think that dynamic carries even more when you're trying to join. So long hair, earrings was the norm for you.
Sure.
And being a knucklehead was okay.
It was more than okay. I mean, you were kind of a nerd if you weren't fighting out in the woods in school while everybody else was going to school.
Yeah. And the OSOs and the recruiters to this day have to take a certain step back. I mean, I showed up with hair down to here, beads, literally leather and beads around my neck, in probably a wife beater. And hey, I'm here. Who the hell are you? Yeah. What? I'm me. I'm somebody. No, you're not. You're a subhuman scumbag. And so once they say you have to fight to get in, you failed the test. What? Yeah. So I go back, and that again, the challenges keep coming. Yeah. So maybe that's part of it. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? I don't know. But I think our stories are common in a certain sense because I did a tour on recruiting duty. You see these kids, and I know you can't join. Well, what do you mean I can't drive?
Yeah, I think in sales they call it a take it away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you might not be qualified for this position or for this house or whatever it is. It makes people just like, what do you mean I'm not qualified?
Yeah. Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
They're really good at that in the Marine Corps. They're good at
they're
challenging you to the point where you learn some shit about yourself.
I've seen staff NCOs wrap kids and parents around their little finger. And just to watch this kabuki dance. This is the same screwball you're out in a bar with the night before, raising hell and flipping over tables. And the next day, it's like Eddie Haskell. Eddie Haskell, by the way, kids. It's an old TV show, Leave It to Beaver. It goes over their heads. I'm too old. And they would come in, and they'd be like, oh, it's so lovely to see you, Mrs. Jones. Mr. Jones, may I sit down? And next thing you know, they're eating out of his hand. Like, how'd you do that? And oh, by the way, the kid maybe is qualified or not qualified for what he wants. So now they got to resell the kid. No, you're not going to be an airborne gynecologist. You're going to be something else. But I want to be an airborne gynecologist. I have a better job for you. Yeah. You have an underwater smoke shifter. Ooh, it's true. And you're just the guy to do it, I think. And
you not be qualified.
We'll have to check. Then get a piece of paper, another letter of reference from your English teacher. I can do that. And it's weird.
Yeah. Recruiting duty is a tough job. I know in the Marine Corps. So I didn't get this far, but I did 32 years in the Marine Corps. Yeah. Half of it was enlisted time, and then the other half I got commissioned and did as an intel officer. Yeah. So I saw a lot of guys. I myself was on the chopping block to go to recruiting duty on a couple.
I don't know how you missed getting B billet. I don't know how. It's a miracle you did not go to a B billet.
I went to 2 soft B billets. So I did an instructor tour, and I also did a career planner.
But that was later.
That's right. It was the time.
Where were you? Oh, okay. Okay, what was the soft B billet?
Well, I'm saying I just said it. Career planner job was it's considered a B billet.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I called it a soft B billet because it was not for that.
Yeah, you're there.
Yeah, you're a used car salesman.
Yeah.
But what was interesting about my time on recruiting duty is because I'm conscientious. Geez, it's funny I say that. I just got done telling you what a punk I was.
Yeah.
I was not conscientious in any way whatsoever. The Marine Corps did that for me.
Sure.
And turned me into something completely different. It was a 180-degree turnaround. But by this point in my career as a staff sergeant, I was really conscientious, and I read all the orders to make sure I understood exactly how to properly take care of the guy. And one of the things I discovered was that there were all these officer programs, right? And so I would I found this sort of pathway to convince fellas and ladies to stay in, work on their degree, and then apply for a commission. And I did this a few times.
And what's that called?
There's a couple of programs. There was one called the Meritorious Commissioning Program, which was the one that required the least amount of college credits. So you needed about half a bachelor's, so about half the degree. So about 2 years worth of school. And then there was one called the MESEP, which you required no college, but you were sent to college for 4 years. And you had to maintain, like you said, I think it's a 2.8 GPA nowadays.
Maybe now,
Yeah. And then the third one, if you already had a bachelor's degree, you could go. It's called the Enlisted Commission Program. That one was the hardest one.
Yeah.
So a lot of competition for MESEP. Not a lot of competition for the Meritorious Commissioning Program because nobody's really willing to, on their own time, do the work it requires to get 2 years of your 4-year degree done while you're, like PS, while you're on active duty. Yeah. Doing your day job, which is the route that I chose to do.
Do you find it interesting? I do. That none of these are particularly well publicized. You got to dig to find these programs. I had this discussion with the OSO, and I'd probably already gone through PLC junior and senior, the 2 summers. So all I had to do was graduate my senior year, which was touch and go, and poof, I get my commission. Yeah. And I remember this. We were in a bar. We were always in a bar. And I'm talking to the captain. I said, "Sir, why don't you guys advertise this thing more? I mean, you guys could get lots of guys." What? He goes, "You ever occur to you we don't advertise on purpose? How hard was it for you to figure this out?" I said, "It's word of mouth, and you know my story. It took me forever to get here." And he goes, "That's why we do it."
That's like the first test.
How bad do you want?
Again, the Marine Corps is really good at pulling from this unknown, or tap into this unknown resource you have. Because the beauty of it is, I firmly believe that every person has seeds of something better than what they are.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everybody can be Einstein, but everybody can improve their position. And it's really a matter of getting around the right mentors and around the right people that can help to sort of pull that out of you. And I just was really blessed to have some of that. So when I was a career planner, I'll tell you in that particular case with my wife, it was like I kept coming home and telling her these stories about me helping another guy go to OCS. And she looked at me one day and she's like, why don't you do that? And I went, light bulb. Why don't I do that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I could. And she was like, yeah, I bet you could.
Yeah. And let it drop.
And that's exactly what happened. Like, again, it was that challenge, you know. Marine Corps is really good about that. And we don't give enough credit to our wives, who are also participants in this whole process, too. But
that's the understatement of the year.
Right. So I think the Marine Corps is an interesting organization in that it doesn't really love you.
It's a machine.
Yeah, it is a machine, but it's a machine that can create a tremendous amount of personal satisfaction, brotherly camaraderie.
Yeah.
All of these like shared terrible experiences. It's the truth, right?
Well, shared misery builds brotherhood. We know this. I mean, think about some of your closest friends. You haven't seen them for 10 years, but you were in combat with them.
Yeah.
You see that guy walks through the door right now. You know, my brother's here, you know. What do you need? $10,000 a pistol? I got you. Yeah. You know, whatever it takes. But, yeah, it's a great way to live. I mean, obviously, we enjoyed it. We did it for a career. But the story is the lunacy, which will be the crux of what we're trying to do here. Is we'll bring in some guests and talk about some funny things.
You say that. Keith and I, when we were younger, we remember these books. There's a series of books by a retired Mustang major. And a Mustang is a guy like myself who was enlisted and then became officer. His name was H.G. Duncan, and he wrote a series of books called Green Side Out, Brown Side Out, Run in Circles, and Scream and Shout.
Yeah.
They were little sea stories, little Marine
vignettes.
Just little. Some of them had like a moral. Some of them were just for.
They're out of print now, aren't they?
Yeah, they are out of print. You can get them, but they're a little bit expensive. I happen to have a full set right now.
No, you're missing one because one's on my desk at work.
Right. But we were talking about this at work one day.
Yeah.
Keith and I said, "Gosh, man, the new generation needs some version of these books."
Yeah, absolutely.
They're awesome. They were so great at like highlighting some Marine Corps leadership principles or whatever the case was. But he was a really good writer, and so we said, like, let's do something like a podcast.
Yeah,
where we can
talk about this crap.
Marines on and have conversations and talk.
The reason the podcast is good because we can get to the young kids. We're getting my phone all day. This is no shit. I think I told you the story.
Don't make fun of your audience, Keith.
Hey. Nah. Christy and I are in a restaurant. All right, we're in a bar. And these 4 young Marines walk in. And it's, they're young kids. They're obviously together. They're buddies. They sit down at the table, and they whip out their phone and start come in Mars. I'm like, what are you jerk-offs doing? I'm thinking to myself, they're not talking to each other. They're friends. So I'm drinking my beer. I'm about 3 beers into it. I'm like, Christy's like, Keith, don't do it. Fuck it. So I walk over there and say, hey, fellas. And they look up. Oh, hello, sir. Yeah, hello. What you doing? I'm just getting some lunch. You guys know each other? You like friends and stuff? Yeah. Then put your fucking phone down and talk to each other. And they look at me like it's just the crazy old guys here. And I laughed. I mean, I bought them a round of drinks and called it good. But that's that dynamic, which why nobody's doing this. The stories maybe aren't getting transferred, so maybe we can do something now.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Hopefully. Or we'll just get drunk every Saturday at your house and do this, and this will end up in the trash bin of history.
Always a second. Well, Keith, thanks for coming. Hey, so tell me this. I know you are also a jewelry maker.
Yes.
So you have a company, is it Steel Jacket?
Steel Jacket Designs. It's on the web, Steel Jacket Designs at equus.com.
Okay.
All the Recon Battalion rings, Force rings, all the MARSOC stuff.
Yeah.
They're solid steel, so they last longer and they're cheaper than silver. Yeah. About $160 a pop. Get online. Sal's got one of each on right now. And if you rate that kind of thing, you like that kind of stuff, by all means, get on there.
Yeah.
And if you like coffee, who should we go to?
Oh, we're going to have a friend of mine, Jesse Jordan, on here pretty soon. And he runs a company called Accent Coffee, some of the best coffee I've ever had.
Excellent. And jarheads love coffee.
Well, Keith, thanks a lot for coming.
All right, Sal. Thanks.
Yep.